Our common denominator is that we all at some point are in need. There's going to be a moment, a time, a season in our life where we are unable to, out of our own personal resources, whether it's emotionally or financially, fulfill a gap or a hole that we have in our life. And so this is why the church, this is why the community, this is why other nonprofit organizations are so important, because we can come together and come alongside someone and help walk with them through difficult seasons in their life.
The American Red Cross provides comfort, hope, and things people need to survive. So we provide food, we provide shelter, we provide mental health care, we provide spiritual care. We wrap our arms around people and help them get through the worst times of their life. We are a nonprofit organization. A lot of people confuse, because we have the word American in there, that we're some form of the government, but we are completely independent from the government, and more than 90% of our funding is generous donations of the American people. The most common response, surprisingly, is a home fire response. Every year in this country, hundreds of people are killed in home fire, and it happens every day. Typically, it's in the middle of the night. A volunteer gets a call saying we have a family that's home is burned down, and they jump out of bed, gather their equipment, run to the scene, and make sure that that family has a place to stay, clothes, food, prescription medication, and that they are connected to agencies that can help them with their long-term recovery. We do that about 4 to 5 times a day right here in this region. Anytime we have a fatality fire, you're there dealing with that family, whoever survived, and you have to give them comfort even though somebody didn't get out. And to me, that's the hardest kind of disaster to respond to. It's very personal. The Moore, Oklahoma tornado, the first Moore, Oklahoma tornado, to me that was very hard because I'm from Oklahoma, and many people died and it hit a school, so there were children involved. Most people know about our disaster relief efforts, but we also provide almost 40% of the nation's blood supply. We provide service to military families. We're the only agency that the government trusts to reconnect families when military members are stationed overseas and they need to return home. The idea that someone you don't even know, a volunteer, shows up to help you is a comforting thing.
Our program is called Fig Leaves, and it comes from Genesis chapter 3, where Adam and Eve were naked and they clothed themselves, the Bible says, with fig leaves. And so that is why we, quote, got you covered. There's a need in our community for men, women, and children of all ages and sizes and shapes who need clothing. We wanted to provide them with something of excellence. In the recent events after Hurricane Harvey and Irma, it is refreshing to see humanity, the American fellow brother and sister, rise up to help one another. It's extremely encouraging in spite of what we see happening in our culture. It gives us hope that inside of all of us is still some good.
Last year, on a collective basis, we did around 14 million meals. From our perspective, because the organization is called Kids Against Hunger, and we do have a lot of kids and youth and then adults as well that help to participate in it, it's almost like a kids feeding kid type scenario.
The events work sort of in an assembly line. You start out with rice and soy, and then you have 21 vitamins and minerals. You put it all in a funnel in order, and then you weigh it. It has to weigh a certain amount.
Back in October, a hurricane hit, Hurricane Matthew hit Haiti. And at the time when that took place, it wiped out the whole southern peninsula of that island, which was primarily the agriculture part of the island. And so the devastation then created such a food void because so much of the island relies upon really their own vegetation, and it's the poorest nation in our hemisphere. So truthfully, within 2 days of that hurricane, we were beginning to get reports of the needs for upwards of like 11 million meals that needed to be shipped to Haiti. When that happened, for us, the great thing was that we had schools, we had churches, we had businesses that said, hey, how can we help, how can we do it? And so we began to really be able to put together food packaging events.
Why I do this, I feel like it's my calling. Okay, then I get emotional. Sorry. No, I don't think there should be anyone that has to worry about their meal, especially little kids. And I feel like I want to leave my mark. I want to leave a legacy. And so that's my calling. And that's why I do what I do with Kids Against Hunger.
But I would leave you with this. I would say that, while you may never be able to change your situation or the circumstance around you, you cannot let your situation or your circumstance change you.
Hi, my name's Roxi Thrasher. I'm the director of this film, In Time of Need, and this is Reagan Thrasher, my cousin, co-director, and partner in crime. Today, our film team, with the $3,000 that we raised, packaged meals for over 12,000 people.
We had 44 people come together to package 1,600 pounds worth of food today.
When we got the opportunity to interview with Jeff and Adrian for our film, we heard their story and what they did, and we wanted to do it ourselves. So we rounded up our film team and raised all the money and got all the food together and did our own event today here at the school. And so all the meals are behind us and we're sitting on them, and we're going to send them to Puerto Rico for the people that were affected by the hurricane.